Hello, Klaus here. It's so nice to see you back at the channel. Hopefully you will enjoy this new piece of content, which is about something else than normal. It's all about sound design, and you can do this inside of any editor. I am using Davinci Resolve 16 right now. You can do it in any editor. So this is just how to make a better sound for your videos. So here I'll show you a quick video with some fast shots, and all of these has to be redone in post because the sound was so terrible. So here are some tips to how to make better audio. Tip number 1, use a piece of paper and a pen and look at the clips and write down the exact sounds you need for your edit. Tip number 2, where to find the sounds. So if you go to YouTube, there is actually a sound library you can use. That's one. Otherwise, you can go to freesound.org. It's a huge library with a lot of free sounds. Some of them, of course, you have to contribute to the creator of the sound in the description, but you can read more about that on their webpage. And the third option is, of course, Soundstripe. They have a sound library inside of their subscription, so that is pretty good. I'm using that, so links down in the description if you're interested in that. And then as a fourth tip, you can also use Storyblocks. I'm not sponsored by Storyblocks. I used to use that, but I'm using another service now, but it's also pretty damn good. And of course, my favorite and my fifth solution for where to get sound is do it yourself. So it is just going out with a recorder and record the sounds by yourself. Okay, with all your sounds now either downloaded or recorded by yourself, let's go into the editing portion of this video. And if you want to try this out for yourself, there will be a link down in the description for the video I did, so you can make your own version and you can use it for whatever you want. Maybe you can post it online and send me a link, because I would like to see what you come up with. Okay, anyway, let's go to the editing portion of this video so we can see how we set it up. Let's go to Davinci Resolve now. Okay, so here we are in Davinci Resolve, and we're trying to do this sound edit here. So here I have all my sounds which I recorded. And the way to do this is just, we can start out by hearing the original here. And it isn't very pleasant. It is noise, and it's not fitting for what I want to do with it. So let's start here from the beginning. So I shot these in the right order of the shots, which makes it way easier when you are trying to do those things. So the first thing I did a while sound.
That's a spot.
Okay, and I did like just the room tone of the room, which is super quiet, and we're just going to take a portion of that because then it will be easier for us. Okay, so we do an in point, and let's move this a bit here, and then we do a out point. Drag that down. So this is the first thing we'll have, and I'll just extend it a bit. So. And in reality, we don't hear that much because it is basically just the room sound. Then we can just pop up the sounds a bit by dragging here. So this is just the room noise, and it's just a noise floor actually. It's and it's always nice to have. So actually, I will create another track. And I'll drag my noise down on the bottom track, and then I'll just go out here and I'll go to the clips. We have number 12 here. I know that it's supposed to be pouring. And then I'll say what I'm doing again. And that is actually a pretty good thing to do, to say what sound you're doing before, if you're not shooting them in a chronological order.
You can.
Okay, so let's just go to the sound, and I need to have the end sound of this. So let's go here again. Okay, I'll do a out point here, and then I'll drag back, and I'll do a in point, and I'll just drag it down, and I'll put the in point here. So let's see if we can make this fit. And of course I'll need to kill my top layer because that sound isn't nice. Yeah, that fits pretty well. And I need to drag this bit off. That's pretty close, I think. So I'll go to my number 13, and that should be this one.
Filter I trakt.
This noise of me doing like that. So I'll do a out point and I'll do a in point. And again, I'll just drag it in. And let's see if we can make that fit. And it's a super small clip, so we'll have to make it fit somehow. And all these are just done. Basically, I saw the clip and I tried to do or replicate the same thing. And it's a little too short. We'll move it along a bit. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's drag that here as well. And I don't know if this is the most efficient way of doing it, but that's just the way I usually do it. Then we have the next one here. Just go in. And I know I did 2 shots of that, and I thought the second shot I did here was better. I like the sound of that. So let's see if we can make this fit in. So we have to get to the exact point, and it's right about here. And then, of course, we want to have the movement. There we are. So it should be just fine. Yeah, it's good. Then we're going to the next one. Go to the drop. And again, I will say what I'm doing. That's the sound we need. So let's do an in point and an out point. And of course you can also do this with multiple layers. That sounds pretty good. And then we have to... I can't remember if I actually did the sound here as well when I close. No, I didn't. Did that as a separate sound?
Lukke filter.
I think that's here. Oh.
Lukke filter.
Should be in point and out. And you can see I can do this pretty fast. And then I need to have the exact sound where the exact movement is of that clip. So one thing you can do actually to make that a little bit easier for you is to use marks. So I push the M button with no clip selected, and I'll have this dot here, and then I can simply make the sound fit way easier. Just like that. Doof. Okay. The next one is the click here of the coffee. And we'll do that pretty fast here. There we go. In point, out point. And we can also see in our original that we have a spike here. So we can align those two. Pretty fast. Also, if you use the comma or the punctuation marks on the keyboard, you can move everything frame by frame. Sometimes it's super accurate, sometimes it's not. And to get this like super accurate, it's actually a bit hard. Also because we are now zoomed in that much. So and you can use a lot of time by doing this. If you want to do that super precise, actually, you can go into the Fusion page. It's way faster. Again, if we just zoom in here in the Fusion page, we can then take the sound and move it exactly where we want it. And again, and of course I could do all of this in the Fusion page, but I'm just used to doing it in the editing and then fixing stuff in the Fusion page later. So, but if you want to be super precise with these frame accuracy thing here, you can go into Fusion and do that. There we go. And then we have the sound of the coffee boiling, which is here. And I took a super long shot of this, and I think it sounded best at the end. This is a nice sound. We'll take that. And something like that. And we'll just drag that in here, and we'll just make it a little shorter, push it in, and actually a little shorter again. Actually, I had a specific sound I liked, so we'll just do like this. And that's the sound. And in reality, we could keep this sound, so we would have this in the background together with the cup. I think we'll do that. So we'll just add a new track. I'll just do a new stereo track, and then I'll just move our basic sound one down, and I want to move this sound down as well, so it has its own track, because that's easier. So we have something like that. Then we need to have the cup sound, which is here. I did also several of those. Again, on the waveforms I can that I like. Okay, so do an in point, out point, and go. And then drag that down. And again, we could see where the sound is. It's right there. Again, if we want it to be into the extreme accuracy, actually I think it's pretty accurate, but so now we have this sound here. And then if we take the coffee sound and we'll drag that a little longer, and we'll fade that out and like it disappear like that, we'll have this coffee sound boiling in the back. And then we go into the next shot, which is the pouring of coffee shot, and it's also the last one.
Kaffe hældes i kaffekop.
Okay, me again pronouncing whatever I did. And there we have the sound, the beginning sound of coffee getting poured. It is a lovely sound. Really love coffee, so that is a
Kaffe.
It's super lovely sound. Let's go for the end here. Do an out point, and let's just drag that in. And of course it is way too long. So let's see if we can make it fit in. And then we kind of need to have the ends here, so we'll just do a cut in the sound, and we'll just go to the end of it. Something like that. We'll take that, and then we'll just delete that and put this together, and then again we'll make it a little bit smaller, make it the end here. Let's see if the end fits. Just zoom here. Also, this clip is super speeded up, so we need to have that at the end. You hear that tick? That is the last drop of coffee. I'll do a mark for that. So let's go to where the last drop of coffee is. There. Go back a bit some frames here, and there. That sound should be around there. So let's see if that will work out for us now. Actually, we need to have more coffee sound. Easy way of doing that would be to just simply drag it this way. Something like that. And actually it might even be better just to drag it a little more and move our twig a bit and do like that. Actually, we can do something like that. I think that should be fine. There we go. And then of course now we can hear that our background sound here is way too loud. So what we could do is we could mix everything inside here, but we'll do it in Fairlight instead. So here in Fairlight we have all our panels and all our audio panels. So the first audio track is just the original audio. We're not using that at all. And of course we'll just take all our mixers, all our things out, and let's have a listen. And of course we have to just have a listen here. So overall, I think like the our background basic sound is too loud, so we'll have to drag that down a bit. The noise of the room is just something like that. And then of course we could add music and whatnot, but we're not going to do that for this thing here. Okay, so now it's, into my ears, it sounds pretty well. The sound effects are not too loud. Of course, we could go in individual and change them just by moving the levels. We could go out here at the levels control and change the output level of it. I think actually it's pretty fine now, so yeah. Anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on the channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.